Shalom, Akim. I'm going to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who teach and rule well, and salutations to all the Akim on four corners, earth, expression, truth, sincerity. Shalom, Akim. I was watching the news this morning around like 9 o'clock, 9:25 our time. And I watch the news, and I keep it on mute, at times. Not on mute, but I can just keep the volume low, because sometimes they tell good stuff and sometimes they just be talking about dumb stuff. So, you got to be able to weave out the stuff. But every now and then they'll slip in something that's going on in the world. So it's probably best to watch the news. I feel it is, especially if you're up in that morning and, the TV's watching you for the most part. You might as well click on the news and just see what's going on. Even though they're going to tell you a lot about BS, but, just sometimes it's patience, man, But at the end of the day, the news just so happened to go into, I was watching it this morning and they were talking about a lot of the BS, and then all of a sudden around like 9:25, the lady interrupts her BS talk to say, breaking news, we got an earthquake just happened in New York. And that's just what made me cut the volume up on the TV and come to find out that it was an earthquake that happened in New York. And it kind of reminded me of, what happened here in Chicago a few years back. A solid 5 years ago, there was an earthquake here too as well. And it was damn near at the same time, it was mid-morning, around 9:30, 10:30, 11 o'clock time. And, I was in the bed and I had the news on low as usual, just like today. And, half sleep, half up. And I just feel shaking in the bed, shaking. And I'm like, what's going on? So I was thinking in my head, maybe it was a truck coming down the street or something, or a bus, because I live on a street where, buses and stuff like that come down and they sometimes break and they rumble like that. But it just kept going. And so I roll over, hit the volume up, turn it up, and lo and behold, it's breaking news. There's an earthquake here too as well. So I know the feeling, and I know in my mind I'm thinking like, wow. But at the end of the day, the scriptures speak about how, the Lord was visiting this place and how he's going to come with different things, man, different signs, man, So, it was, the Lord put the Spirit upon us, to be in different situations at different times. And it just what happened 2 times. I caught a quake around the same time, and just so happened to be watching the news, and it was just popping off right at that time, man. This is 2nd Esdras. I'm going to start at the top. 2nd Esdras 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time where the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and upwards of people in the world. And when you think about it, this earthquake that's hit New York, I knew nothing about a fault line coming through New York, but now they're speaking more about it. So now it's letting you know that the Lord has fault lines just running through the United States, because you also have fault lines running through here in the Midwest, which Chicago area runs through, East Coast, New York, and now on the West Coast. For years, you always joked about the earthquakes in California, and why you didn't want to visit California was because of the earthquakes. They could happen anytime. I remember watching the World Series, coming up, and an earthquake hit. I want to say it was Oakland or LA, one of the two. But I remember watching it on TV as a kid. So the Lord doesn't care what you're doing, what fun times you're having. When it's time, it's time. And so the Lord had showed me that, back in the day as a kid, and that was the long strike for California. Like, nobody wanted to go to California or live in California because of the earthquakes. They were in fear of that. Well, guess what? All the United States has fault lines running through it somehow, some way, or can be majorly impacted by a fault line, because this earthquake that hit in New York was a 4.8. The one that hit here in Chicago was a 3.7, between the 3.5 and 3.7, So this one in New York was more powerful. But there's no such thing as a weak earthquake, Earthquakes do damage, And you also have to realize that Esau even though the Lord brings earthquakes, but Esau also has played a major part in these earthquakes because he has done something called plate tectonics. Not plate tectonics. That's when the earth moves. But he has added in the roughening of it, I should say. By extracting oil from the earth. The oil in a car, when your oil runs low, you build up friction. Your pistons, they fire off and they burn in. They need friction basically. So oil gives them friction, just like here on Earth. The plates when they move on and building up different land structures and rocks, they use the oil to like move smoothly across the other rocks. And when Esau extracts this oil from deep beneath the earth, it makes the moving harder. It makes the rumbling harder. The rocks are harder. It's grinding harder. So Esau adds on to a lot of these things. But at the same time, the Lord he'll turn up when he wants to turn it up, and we're seeing it with our very own eyes. And like I say, a lot of people were mistaken that you could, escape those fault lines from California, but they're all across the United States of America. So it's no escaping. When they showed how far the earthquake traveled, the power of it, but I really can't find it right now in this little article because my phone is kind of going crazy. But let me continue. So he says, 2 Esdras 9:4. Then shalt thou very well understand that the Most High spoke of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And we see the end being manifest right before our very eyes, man. With these different, with the Lord just shaking up the earth right now, man, in these different areas that didn't have to deal with earthquakes, for years, I'm pretty sure at one time in American history that they did have, the Lord did show, hey, this is a fault line here, I'm gonna give you a little time of rest, you're gonna have some time of fun, but just know, but it's a well-known fact that California alone has probably more of the tremors, I'm assuming, because I would have to look that one up, come think about it, because, like I say, you got the fault lines all across the United States of America. This is Luke 21:25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, and perplexed the sea and the waves roaring. That's coming. We got this eclipse coming up on Monday, so it's going to be more and more things that's going to happen. And on Monday we might be doing more reports, because of these verses are going to become more and more relevant. That's why this is going on, man. Let me continue. Luke 21:26. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. These are the things, man. A lot of that's another thing that these people are putting out. Telling people to have their resources prepared for this on Monday because of this eclipse. Especially these people going to these different towns and traveling from afar. Because people love to travel to see things, so they're gonna go to these different towns to try to get good looks at this eclipse and stuff. And so the people of these towns and the mayors of these towns are getting on TV telling the people to prepare. You don't know what's gonna happen. Men's hearts and people act weird around different things, man, or different events that happen on the earth. Yeah, so and these people act weird around the different events that happen when the moon is full moons. People really cut up. When I was a kid, we used to, not really joke about it, but speak it up. Like, it must be a full moon tonight. People are really acting crazy. And as I got older, I started doing more research and finding out that this was actually a real thing. When the moon is a full moon, it's a well-known fact that the animal life they get the, they do what they is more active. So that means, and the Lord puts, spirit upon the people to be more active on full moons, man. So it's a well-known fact that the sun and the moon play a major fact in people, as far as their attitudes and their moods and what they do and how they react and, just different things, So, when this eclipse comes, don't be amazed, don't be in shock when you hear about just different things occurring upon the earth, especially here in America, Like I say, it's just what it is. It is what it is, man. It's just a well-known fact. Let me bring this out. This is Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. And earthquake once again, man, in diverse places, man. Here's a little picture showing how it affected somewhat, where people felt it. So that's a large area from New York, New Jersey to Philly. To Philly, Pennsylvania, I should say. It's a large area. Matthew 24:8. All these are the beginning of sorrows, man. So these are the beginning of the sorrows. Because imagine when the Lord puts that 4.8 a little higher, or electric rumble a little higher, in a spot like New York or Chicago, where New York is right there off the ocean, and we have a major lake here. And years ago, me and my brother, we were speaking, and said, when you think about it, that lake and water, if the Lord put the Spirit on it, can drown Chicago. And I thought about it, nah. But then I thought about it, when you look at the area of this large, massive lake water compared to where Chicago is a city, it could flood the whole downtown area. It could be underwater, even the whole city damn near, because we're right off the coast of the lake, and it's a long lake. It's not a little ass swimming pool lake, But I just wanted to bring that out, man. I just seen the earthquake and just wanted to, shine light on it because it reminded me of the one that happened here, With that being said, I hope this is edifying. Shalom, Akim.